Canoe polo, get a motion.
Thank you, Carly. Well, canoe polo. When I started here, I said I played canoe polo, and everyone was like, "What's canoe polo? Do the horses swim, or how does canoe polo work?" And it's a very common misconception that horses may be swimming or anything like that. So I designed this speech to introduce you to what canoe polo actually is. So it's played on a court like a basketball or a netball or various other sports. It has a goal at each end. It's about 35 metres long and 23 metres wide, and is played in a pool. They're not horses, they're actually canoe polo boats. We have plastic boats, carbon fibre, fiberglass, depends on your price range and how new or old it is. They have rubber moulds at the front, so when you hit other people it doesn't damage the pool or the court or the other players' boats too much. So this is someone about to take a throw for a goal, or shoot for goal. It's played with a water polo ball that you can hold in one hand just. If you've got a small hand it's quite difficult. The ball's quite grippy. You have a life jacket to protect yourself from people coming into you, and a helmet with a face shield for the same reason, protecting your face. You have numbers like all sports. You need to know which players shot the goal, or various things like that, fouls. There's a spray deck or skirt. Oops. How to go back?
Where's the mouse?
We saw it. Yeah. There's a spray deck that stops the water from going into the boat, because that would be quite hazardous if the boat was full of water, which my boat did actually, because it had holes in it. Anyway, there's lots of strategy involved in canoe polo. There's 5 players on each side, and there may be a couple of people on the side to jump on to change for people. There's lots of strategies. This is 2-2-1, so 2 people at the front, 2 people in the middle, and 1 goalie. There's 1-3-1, and there's everyone on a player, but usually there's someone that's near the goal, or at the goals, or near the goals. And this is on a river somewhere, so they're played in various places like pools, rivers, dams, anything that has water pretty much, and you can set up some goals. So they've probably got 2-2-1, so 2 people out of the screen, 2 people there in the black, and the goalie just under the goals, and he stops the ball from going in the goals by his paddle. The goals are 2 metres off the water, which your paddle is roughly 2 metres as well, so it's quite difficult to get right up the top. You have to see this guy is holding it down the bottom, but if you want to get right up to the top, you even have to get it higher than that. It's a male and female sport, and old, young, anybody can be involved. There's a female there. There's no discrimination or anything in canoe polo. In the professional fields, you have a female competition and male competition like most other sports. But in amateur, it's just all in to have fun. There's lots of rules for canoe polo to keep it safe. Obstruction, illegal tackle, and illegal use of paddle. So you have to keep a hold of your paddle and not hit other people in the head and push them in the wrong places. You can push on the shoulders when they're down, shoulder and below. So that makes it quite interesting. So canoe polo, how can I start? Well, you can search on the internet for your local canoe polo, which there's usually a canoe polo within every major city. There is in Australia, but in the country areas there's not really the demand for canoe polo, so it's a bit difficult if you live in the country. In Sydney there's one in Lidcombe at Auburn Pool. Yeah, you can, on Tuesday nights, you can go down there after work, play canoe polo and go back home. Some people from the north coast actually drive all the way down to Lidcombe just to play canoe polo. It's a very good sport, great for training your muscles, training for being in boats, stability, strategy, and many engineers actually do the sport. It's strange that so many engineers actually do the sport. I think it's because of the strategy involved in it. But anyone's welcome, male, female, old, young, and it's played all over the world. Has anyone got any questions?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Why do they have separate competitions? Do males have an advantage over females? Does strength matter?
Yes, so in the local competitions, it's there's not enough people, so it's all in one. But yes, males generically have stronger arms, so they can throw it further, push harder, paddle harder. Yeah.
Second question, would they take an old geezer like me?
Yes, I've seen much older than you, so yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Third question, if you have everyone
Yeah.
going to Lidcombe, how are they going to have room if people are going from the North Shore? I mean, if it's so popular, how do you fit everybody into the one pool?
Well, you can have multiple nights and different competitions. Like in Sydney, there's only one competition because it's a bit smaller. In Melbourne, there's 2 nights with 4 different competitions, and you'll have teams and you're graded in Melbourne. So there's A, B on one night and C and D on the other night. So when you're a beginner, you go into D grade, and then you're with people of your own standard.
Thank you.
So is Lidcombe the only place in Sydney where you can
In Sydney, yes.
go and
Yeah, yeah. There used to be out at Penrith, but that hasn't been running.
Are you actively involved in this?
Yes,
Yes.
I don't at the moment because of other commitments, but yes.
Another question is, you said it's plastic, but what kind of plastic? Is it polyethylene, or it should be polyprop or polyethylene because it's softer?
There's different types
Can't
of
be
plastic that they
PVC.
use. Plastic's not the ideal boat for it because it's more flimsy and heavier. Carbon fibre.
So fiberglass.
Fiberglass or carbon fibre, which is stronger and lighter.
Yeah.
So carbon fibre is the preferred boat.
Yeah,
But
fiberglass,
they're
yeah.
over $1,000.
And you were talking about the rounding, and that's most likely polyurethane, PU, because it's very soft and it
Which parts?
the top part.
Ah,
You
yeah.
called it rubber, most likely it's polyurethane. yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
rubber. It's yeah, because you can replace them.
Yes, it's polyurethane, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just want to understand what you have there, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need to be a strong swimmer?
No, it's played in a pool, so you've got a life jacket on, and depending on the experience and stuff like that. They're very careful with new beginners that don't know how to flip back over if they roll underwater or can't swim or whatever. Before you start playing, they generally get you to get out of the boat and move, so just so you don't get too afraid when you're playing.
Why did you pick that topic for your speech?
Because I hadn't done it since the start. It educated the club of an interest that I had or have, and I thought it suited the time.
How long has canoe polo been played in Sydney?
In Sydney, I do have other notes of the history, but it's very old. It was played in wooden boats, and there was various forms at the beginning. Some people actually used wooden barrels and put horse manes on the front and tails on the back, and there's very various sports. But in the 1900s, sometime, it was formed into a international sport, international committee and everything. That's all. Thank you.
Very much.